And we welcome you back to Big Board Sports on this Tuesday morning edition. And spring training baseball certainly underway. Games being played, inch our way closer to the start of the regular season. Mike Puma from the New York Post, who covers the Mets, joins us for a few minutes to get a little state of the state on the Mets early on in spring training. Mike, thanks for a few minutes. We appreciate it. And when you talk Mets, you talk starting pitching and the health of this team. Are you optimistic that this starting group will be ready, healthy to go for the new season?
Well, it's hard to be too optimistic right now, just because, you have these guys coming off surgery, and you don't know what they're going to be. And we saw it last year where they broke down a little bit in the second half. But I think the good thing from the Mets' perspective is just the amount of depth now that they have developed with guys like Gesellman and Lugo that they certainly have confidence in. And so we'll see as this goes along, how many of these guys are healthy and how many can return toward peak level. But from the Mets' perspective, the positive aspect is they're not just relying on a few guys now. They have more guys than they need for the starting rotation.
Mike, let me get specific on one pitcher, and that's Harvey, because he's had a couple of surgeries. He's got a one-year deal here. Is there pressure on him to really come through this season? What is your take on Harvey, the future of him? 2 surgeries, a lot to overcome. Can he do it?
Well, he certainly wants to go out and have a big year. Now, you have to look at the fact now 2 of the last 3 seasons, he's been pretty much sidelined, coming off the Tommy John surgery rehab in 2014, and then last year didn't pitch well in the first half, and then he was diagnosed with the thoracic outlet syndrome, had the season-ending surgery in July. So he wants to go out and he's a free agent after the 2018 season, so he wants to come out here and string a couple of good years together, so he'll have some pretty good leverage heading into his walk year.
Hey, Mike, a lot of issues on this team now. The starting pitching, we hope everything gets sorted out there, and Harvey. But how about the bullpen? How about Familia? We know there's a domestic violence issue there in the off season. How are the Mets going to overcome that? What are you hearing? When do you think he gets back? And who fills in the meantime? Who closes out games for the New York Mets?
Well, the Mets kind of expect this thing to come down probably the last week of March, the final week of spring training. Familia's pitching in the World Baseball Classic, and it'd be surprising if any kind of decision was reached before then. That starts on March 9th, I believe the date is. So, I think we're looking at the last week of March there, and then once he is suspended, which everybody's expecting it to be a suspension at this point, the Mets have certainly prepared for it. Addison Reed slides in from the 8th inning to the 9th inning. And then, Fernando Salas is probably your 8th inning guy, and the big question mark becomes, all right, well, who handles the 7th inning then? And they'll kind of have to piece that together.
And let me take you from the pitching mounds to the hitting, and obviously Cespedes is there, should provide a big boost again. But they weren't very good last year. The Mets, worst in the league with runners in scoring position and getting runs across the plate with guys out there. How do you see that this season? Can the Mets score runs with runners in scoring position? How will they do at the plate?
Well, you look at the first half of last season, they were historically bad with runners in scoring position. For most of that first half, they were right around 200, 201, whatever it was. And then, they got some guys healthy down the stretch, lengthened the lineup out, and the final 6 weeks of the season or so, they really began to click offensively. So, I think health goes a long way with this lineup. Having Neil Walker back, as Asdrubal Cabrera, seeing what they can get from David Wright. They don't know about him right now. And certainly bringing back Cespedes as the linchpin of the lineup goes a long way toward ensuring they'll score some runs this year.
And, Mike, I can't let you go without putting you on the spot here. The over-under win total for the Mets is 89.5. Are you going over or under for this Mets team as you see them right now?
Boy, I think that's a pretty good number right there, 89.5, because I would probably put the Mets around 89 or 90. So, I might go a smidge over. I might look at them as a 90-win team, so I'll go over.
Hey, Mike, we appreciate it. I'm sure we'll be back in touch, but thanks for a few minutes on the state of the New York Mets, Port St. Lucie spring training. That is Mike Puma from the New York Post joining us here on Big Board Sports.
All right, thank you.